presented to me in my Discord is that Old Grandad 114 is better than Booker's. Well, we got 3 Bookers. We've got Old Grandad 114, so we're going to pour them up blind and we're going to find out if that's really true. So if you know, and maybe you don't know, I am a Booker's fanatic. I can only buy it once a year because of the price, but we're taking price out of this. The Old Grandad 114 comes in around that $30 to $35 mark, while Booker's these days is coming in about $100 in most places. So we're getting rid of the price tag and we're just going straight off taste. Can this Old Grandad 114 beat all 3 of these Bookers? Can it beat 1? Can it beat 2? We're going to try it out. We're going to pour all of these up and we're going to see, because I don't think that it can. So if you don't know how this works, this is the Great Whiskey Challenge Tasting Kit. We have tag A, B, C, and we can't find tag D, but we don't really need it since it's the only one without a tag. We have glass A, B, C, and D poured up with the corresponding tags. On the bottom is the letter. On the top, while I'm drinking it, I cannot see it because it's blacked out. So we're going to mix these up. We're going to try them blind. We're going to see if Old Grandad 114 here can outperform any of these Bookers. And I got to be honest with you, before we even start, I'm telling you, there's no possible way it beats any of these Bookers, even in a blind. So what I need from you in the comment section below while I spin these up is I need to know, do you think that Old Grandad 114 is going to beat all 3 of these Bookers? Maybe you think it'll beat 1. Maybe you think it can beat a batch of Bookers that you had. We'll talk about each one of these batches as we go, but let's spin this up so we don't know which one's which. That should be plenty. So obviously all of these are coming out of Jim Beam. The Bookers, I believe, are all 77-13-10, while the Old Grandad 114 is 63-27-10. So there are different mash bills, and again, we'll talk about each one of the Bookers that I have as we go. But everybody knows before we get started, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. It's Bookers. You can smell it. Let's start with A on my right here. This is the 2020-01. This is the Granny's batch, I believe. Yes, Granny's batch. This is coming in at 6 years, 4 months, 21 days, and 126.4 proof. So I got to tell you, 114 proof versus what we're considering 126, 126.6, and 122.4. Not crazy off, but I should be able to pick it up strictly off of proof. I don't know which one of these is going to be which batch. I don't think I'm that good. I have enjoyed the Granny's batch a lot. These two I like a lot, but at the end of the day, it's hard to get to them every night. And the Old Grandad 114, I've only ever tried once. This is actually a bottle I borrowed from my brother-in-law, but let's get into glass number 2 right here. Compared to this, proof-wise, this is much lower. This is either the 122, what did I say this was? 122.4, or it's the Old Grandad 114. I'm not quite sure yet. This was definitely higher when it came to proof. I'm just trying to hone in on each one of these real quick. Then we'll go back through, pick out some flavor profiles, and tell you which one we like the best. That one's not crazy when it comes to the proof either. These are actually both pretty close when it comes to the proof, which means maybe, again, that's the 122 and the 114 right here in the middle, because this one drank very hot. Okay, that's kind of crazy. A little bit hotter than the first two. This one definitely drinks the easiest, but I wouldn't consider like 114 to 126. There's no way there's a jump there. But like, am I going 114, 122, 126? But these two don't even drink close. If this is 126 proof and this is 126 proof, this drinks more like 119, 118 proof. Which means if these are 114, 122, this is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be on proof. This one being the standout. So this, I think, is one of these 126 proofs, but I'm not quite sure. I don't love that. Compared to these other 3, I don't love that one. We talked about this one coming in. This is Granny's batch 2020-01, 6 years, 4 months, 21 days, 126.4 proof. Bottle B that we're sipping on tonight is 2023-03. This is the Mighty Fine batch. This is 126.6 proof as well. Is that the same? 126.4 and 126.6. This one's 7 years, 1 month, 10 days. So this one is a little bit older. And by the way, these all come with a little card that are pretty cool. Hold on, I think I have one back here. 2% came from the 5th floor, 7th story warehouse Q. 3% came from the 6th floor, 7th story. So like that's cool that you can get all this type of information about this. But all I really care about is the age on this, the proof on this, and if it's better than this one over here. And then we have 2022-04. Did I skip? Yeah, I went straight to 2023. Did I have a 2021? I have to have a 2021 around here. In the COVID times, maybe it was tough for me. I don't know. This is Pinky's batch, 2022-04. Again, this is coming in at 122.4 proof. This is 6 years, 10 months, 10 days. 6 years, 4 months. That's our youngest one. And then 7 years, 1 month. So this is the youngest, this is in the middle, and this is the oldest right here. I don't think OGD has an age statement on it. If I had to guess, what, 4, maybe 5 years old? Let's get back into this one over here, which I thought, again, was C, just strictly based off proof, but I'm not 100% on that. You definitely get the nuttiness, especially on the Bookers. I don't know. Again, I only had this one time, so I don't remember if it gave me like a big peanut flavor or not, like that creamy peanut butter that I usually get off these Bookers, but they're coming. Not that it's lacking, it's there. It just doesn't seem as predominant as it used to be. That's the one that has that creamy peanut butter on there, and that one's fantastic. This one so far might be my favorite of all four. Assuming that this is the OGD 114, I'm not going to say anything yet. Let me relax. When I jump to conclusions too early, I make myself sound stupid. That's tough. I like the flavor profile on this, but I also get a lot of that oak, a lot of that dense, heavy char on this, which is usually a turnoff for me personally. None of these are crazy old. We're not talking about 15, 16 years on this. We're talking about 6, 7 years. So for me to get that much oak presence on this and a little bit of dryness, a little bit of tannins, this is kind of crazy. I feel like I used to love Bookers and now these just aren't hitting for me. This one's giving me sweet. It's giving me spicy. There's still a little bit of age, a little bit of oak on this, but not nearly as overwhelming as this one right here. So I feel like I like the front of this glass better, but overall the complexity on this glass mixed with not having that extra char, that extra oak on the end, kind of makes like the overall experience of this glass a little bit better. But let's go back into glass number 2 over here. Not much age on that, a little bit of complexity, but I feel like there's not a lot of flavors. There's like different flavors, but there's not a lot of them. I feel like I get that traditional bourbon note, a little bit of spiciness, and then no real age. Not very long when it comes to the finish on this. Not a bad glass of whiskey. Again, if this is a $30, $35 glass of whiskey, I wouldn't be disappointed. If this was a $100 glass of whiskey, I would definitely be disappointed. But as of right now, that's not a bad glass of whiskey. It just doesn't seem to be giving me as much as these other 3 glasses of whiskey. But this glass right here will remind you that just because there's a lot of flavors doesn't mean that they're good. I mean, these glasses are really all over the place. This is spicy. I get a little bit of that age on the end of this, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't dry out the tongue or anything like that, so I enjoy that part of it. But this glass overall seems underwhelming to me. This glass just seems meh. It's a traditional whiskey. These two over here, I'm kind of debating between which one I like better. Neither one of them are really standing out, though, as like that Booker's that I truly come to love. Both of them have their flaws, and both of them have their pros. They both have pros and cons. The question is, what do I like better in this particular situation? Do I like something that has some complexity but a little bit of something that I don't like about it? Or do I like something that's kind of lacking in that complexity but everything else in the glass is delicious? That's kind of where I'm at on these two. These two, I'm up in the air on which one I like better as well. Right now, I'm leaning towards glass number 2. Early predictions. These two are in front. Glass number 3 is going to be in third. And then this, I mean, I'm almost guaranteeing that this will be our fourth. I just can't see it jumping any of these glasses. Late game. I don't see a Quincy Hall comeback. I don't see a LeBron James leading the men's USA team over Serbia comeback here. I think we're just going to call this one as fourth place. If for some reason one of these falls out of the top, I'll definitely revisit this one, but I'm going to put this one back here for right now. These two I don't think are close. These two I don't think are close, so I'm almost confident in putting this as third. But let's get back into these two over here, and we'll see. We always switch things late game. The flavors are better. They're quieter. You know what I mean? Like the flavors that I'm getting are better. They're just not as predominant. So it's very much a toss-up of, do you want flavors that, you know, they're not bad flavors, but they're in your face, you're going to get them? Or do you want flavors that you really enjoy that are for you, but you're kind of like searching for them? You're kind of looking for them in the glass right here. These two are tough. I almost want to say 1A, 1B, but we can't call it like that. Hold on now, folks. This glass, and again, I think this glass is the 114, but I don't want to set myself up for that. I don't want to be like, oh, because this is the 114, it deserves to be in third. It's not supposed to be number one. I would never say that. But I will say this glass is starting to move its way up. Between these two, I'm definitely not loving both of them. So this glass definitely has a chance to jump up. This glass isn't going anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. I decided to move glass number 3 forward because I think I'd rather have flavors that I enjoy quieter over flavors that I don't like at all. I understand that you want a little bit more complexity in the glass. You want something that's a little bit more in your face when it comes to the actual flavor profile. You don't want to be hunting for it. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to enjoy this glass better quieter, then I'm going to enjoy this glass that I don't really like the flavors of. I'm going to want this glass over this glass. So that being said, let's compare these two real quick to see if this one jumps over this one or if they're going to stay 1, 2, 3, and forget this glass over here. Let's go to glass number 3. 4. Don't mix these up. 4. Strictly off of what I just said, I feel like I have to put this glass ahead of this glass. I don't like the flavor profile in this glass. Again, I think it's a good glass of whiskey for certain people. It's just not my flavor profile, which means what I love in this, I love a lot. What I hate in this, I hate too much. So we're going to put this glass ahead of this glass. I told you things can swap here late game. I'm definitely not going to ever put this glass ahead of this glass. So let's call this right now. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's finish these two up. Let's flip them over and let's find out if Old Grandad 114 is better than any of these Bookers. Drum roll, please. A. Granny's batch. I don't even remember what I said anymore. I think I said that was the Mighty Fine batch. So I was wrong on that, but I was at least right on the proof, right? 126.4 proof. They were very close when it came to proof. I guess more age over here maybe because I did say that this had more age on it. So let's see. This has got to be, I'm going to say this has got to be this. Wow, that is C. That is the Pinky's batch. This is 6 years, 10 months, 10 days. Okay. As of right now, Old Grandad is in front of 2 Bookers. Can we continue? Let's go with number 1. Let's just go straight to number 1 here. If this is D, I'm going to be so upset. Drum roll, please. Okay, that's B. That's phenomenal. Because I did not think that, 1, I thought this one had the age. 2, I thought this one had the proof. This has the age and the proof. 7 years, 1 month, 10 days, 126.6 proof. That is very, very good. But ladies and gentlemen, that does mean that D, which is Old Grandad 114, beat out 2 of our Booker's batches. I gotta tell you, the 2 that I thought I liked the best, I gotta revisit this Mighty Fine batch. I gotta go back and see what score I gave this. We're gonna revisit this one more time here on Bourbon of the Week. I can guarantee you that. Well, there you have it, folks. OGD 114, and at $30 to $35 compared to $100, if we put value into this, I would definitely put OGD 114 above all of these bottles that I have right here. But in the meantime, make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check out our Patreon page because these are the guys that give me the inspiration for videos like this. That link in the description below. Check out our Discord. That link in the description below as well. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay putting up Bookers against OGD 114 because you just might be surprised. And do it blind. Cheers, y'all.